For those of you who came in late, if there's one thing you don't know about me is that I am a huge fan of the Phantom. Ever since I was maybe 7 years old, which was when I got my first comic, I have just never looked back. These comics come out like every fortnight, and since that day, I've just been getting every single one that I came across. At this point in time, I have at least 600 issues, and I haven't missed a single one from the early 1600s. At the time of recording this, they are up to number 1858, so yeah, that's quite a few comics I have. I also have quite a few of the older issues too. These are pretty easy for me to find, either online or pretty much all the secondhand bookstores I go to have at least 50 of these. And they're usually pretty cheap too to get. One of my proudest possessions is this one right here, signed by the Phantom himself, Billy Zane. That's pretty damn cool. The comics are on sale for like $4, so it was easy for me back when I was a young little dude to pick them up from the local news agency. Number 1511, Goran Disappears, was actually the first Phantom comic I picked up and bought. And for whatever reason it got my attention and made me want to get more. And in that particular issue too, the Phantom wasn't really in it as he was dying, but somehow he quickly became my favourite superhero of all time. And it should also go without saying that for the most part, the comics are in black and white, so how these comics got my attention as a 7-year-old when there were all these other awesome coloured comics around will continue to just baffle me. I just have no idea how something in black and white got my attention at such a young age. Anyway, why it's taken me so long to make a video on this character who means oh so much to me? I honestly don't know why. I guess my main focus on this channel has always been on video games, and I just haven't felt the need to make a video on the Phantom. Well, it turns out there is a Phantom game out there, and it's taken me so long to, well, find that out. So here it is on the Super Nintendo, the Phantom 2040, which is the only licensed and, well, as far as I know, the only Phantom game in existence. And, well, that's a damn shame. There should be more of those. Anyway, if you don't know who the Phantom is, here's a quick lesson for you people. Over 400 years ago, a young sailor man washed ashore, the sole survivor of a pirate attack out at sea. The natives of the island cared for him and brought him back to health. The man swore an oath upon the skull of the man who killed his dad.
I swear to devote my life to the destruction of piracy, greed and cruelty in all their forms, and my sons and their sons shall follow me.
And he became the first Phantom. From that day forth, the eldest son of each generation followed in this tradition, making it seem like the Phantom was just one man, a man who cannot die. So, if that ain't enough to convince you to read about him and buy your own comics, I honestly don't know what will. Australian or not, these comics are classics and are just, well, need to be read by everyone. So guys, let's take a look at the Phantom 2040 on the Super Nintendo and see if it is as awesome as the comic book franchise is. Now, the Phantom 2040 is actually a spin-off of the current Phantom stories you'll read about. This one, of course, is set in the distant future of 2040. So let's take a look at this game and see if it's as good as the comics. Let's pop it in. If I had to compare the Phantom 2040 to another game, the best option for me would be Super Metroid. This has the same awesome fast-paced action and adventure feel as Metroid does, but it doesn't draw too much comparison, but instead feels like its own game, which is pretty damn cool for its time. I just love me a game with some awesome fast-paced action, run and gun as I would say. Now, some viewers complain that the respawn rate for the enemies is too much, but to me, I don't mind. Being the fan I am, all I want to do is shoot these blasted robots and feel like a superhero. I don't mind, it's quite enjoyable to me at least. The game does give you so much to work with that it can almost be overwhelming for a first time player, but you'll get used to it pretty darn quickly. You can unlock so many different types of weapons and tools and get some upgrades to help you make your way around. And you can even operate some vehicles, which I think is pretty damn badass for the Phantom. The story of the game is centered around some lady who wants to take revenge on the Phantom, who she believes is responsible for the death of her husband. So she decides to build a robot army and lay waste to all the pesky poor people in the city, and of course try to kill the Phantom at the same time. You of course play as the Phantom, who must stop the evil robot army and get his hand on this Black Panther thing that apparently can be used to bring back someone from the dead, which a few other characters are after too, so it's a matter of you getting to it first. Sounds like there's a lot going on, and there really is, but this game makes some smart choices by having multiple different endings, and wow, there's quite a few of them. The ending you get is determined by which path you take, and some crucial choices you'll have to make along the way, like choosing whether or not to keep the Black Panther thing for yourself, or trading it in for some information to help find your missing friends. So yeah, there's quite a bit of replay value here. I'm not a big fan of the password save system. I mean, it doesn't always work well for me. Sometimes after I save and start back again, I begin with less items than I had before, and I'm not always in the same location as it was when I, saved. I would have much preferred a battery save, but seeing how most games at this time didn't even have a saving feature, it's at least commendable that they thought that we would like to come back to this game and, well, save our progress. There's a lot of exploring and platforming in this game as the levels are quite big, but it is easy to get around as you get this awesome grapple hook, and that just makes it a whole lot of fun to travel around and blast away the evil robots who will mostly be flying around with jetpacks. So yeah, you can take the battles to the sky. I wonder how the real Phantom feels about this game, knowing that his legacy has lived on to the year 2040 and hopefully beyond. I wonder how proud he is.
I bet he's real proud.
Oh my god, who said that?
Up here, you doof, where you put me.
You can talk?
Ah, yes, I can talk. And I've been watching you for quite a while, and I have to say, I love how you just love my work. You know, it's not easy being a legend over 400 years old, you know, so it's great to get some appreciation every now and again.
You've been watching me for a while?
The Phantom has 1,000 eyes and 1,000 ears. Old Jungle's saying.
Oh god.
I wouldn't worry about that too much right now. I mean, you do have the world to save, or should I say, the future to save.
Do you maybe want to come down here and play this game with me?
I don't really have any arms or hands for that matter, but yeah, sure, I'll give it a go.
Wow. Just when I thought this video couldn't get any cooler, I am now playing the Phantom game with the Phantom himself. This is going to be the greatest day of my life. Well, it already is. I mean, look at you, talking to me and everything.
And you're taking it pretty well too. They say the Phantom's voice turns blood to ice.
Gee, you got that right. The boss battles in this game are quite enjoyable. I mean, they're not exactly the most creative things, but the weaponry and tools you get make it a whole lot fun.
I agree. I mean, I'm not a big fan of this futuristic technology, but I have to say, this handgun is quite powerful. You can upgrade to shoot multiple bullets at once, and well, I'm quite jealous. Wish I had this type of gun in my day.
I hear that some reviewers tend to hate on the graphics, but I honestly don't see anything wrong with it. It is definitely one of the better looking Super Nintendo games out there. So what the fuss is all about, I don't know. I think it looks great.
What about the music too? The music is pretty badass. I could listen to this all day.
You know, now that you're here, maybe I can ask you some questions about, I know, your Phantoming. I mean, why is it whenever I look up the Phantom on Google, I always get the Phantom of the Opera, or the Star Wars Phantom Menace?
Oh, there really is a simple explanation for that. I just don't want my name to spread around social media, making it seem like I'm just some evil ghost, just to scare people.
I guess that makes some kind of sense, but don't you want people to know you and more fear you?
Put it this way, you don't find the Phantom, he finds you.
Old Jungle saying?
It is indeed.
Cool. Just like the 2040 animated series, this game will be over before you know it. There's about 60 different levels and in total over 6 hours of playtime depending on how well you play. But to me, that's just too short. I want there to be more of these games, more sequels, more spin-offs. I just want more Phantom video games. Is that too much to ask?
I am right there with you, Luke. I mean, I'm not a big fan of the futuristic gameplay, but they should make some more video games based off the Phantom, maybe in its current state, with no futuristic technology, just so you feel like the real Phantom that everybody reads about.
Have you seen the Phantom movie from 1996 starring Billy Zane?
Oh, only 1,000 times. I even let them film it at my skull cave.
1996 The Phantom is easily one of my favourite movies of all time, for obvious reasons. Billy Zane just nailed the role, and he just looks like he's having a grand old time in every scene he's in. When this movie first came out, critics and reviewers hated it, and it didn't receive very well financially at the box office, and for that reason, future films and sequels were cancelled, which is a damn shame. To me, this movie had everything: great villains, awesome action, and an amazing soundtrack, which I can't play here, otherwise YouTube will kill me. It wasn't until this film came out to home video that it was popularized and was seen as a hidden gem. Do you think that maybe one day I could be, I don't know, in the future Phantom movie and play as the Phantom?
Ha ha ha! And what, be better than Billy Zane? Honestly, Luke, I don't think you can do it.
Billy Zane has been open-minded for years that he would like to make another one, and I think the idea of making a sequel instead of a remake is the right way to go. I could so be the Phantom.
Oh yeah? Prove it. Now that's something Billy Zane didn't do in the movie.
I knew it. You know what, Phantom? I've been playing this game so much, I haven't given you a chance to have a go. I mean, this is your family line here we're talking about. Maybe you should have a go and see what your future line of Phantoms have in store.
Oh, well, this is probably a bit out of my expertise. I mean, I'm not used to all this futuristic stuff.
What do you mean? This is Super Nintendo. We've had these back in your day.
No, as in I don't even have any hands, so I can't possibly play this game.
Just take the controller. The fans want to see you play the game. I did say there were 60 levels, and for the most part, they're quite short levels. The only thing that makes it so tricky is that you don't know where to go half the time, but once you figure it out, you can just breeze right through these levels. Like, check this out, the Phantom's just running and blasting away all the robots without stopping once to breathe.
Well, you know what to say? The Phantom is rough and reckless. And don't forget, the Phantom has a strength of 10 tigers. Old jungle sayings.
It's kind of funny, Phantom. You see, my favorite video game character of all time is Master Chief from Halo, and he's another faceless character. We just don't get to see his face because, well, he's got a big helmet on. But you, on the other hand, we don't see your face in the comics. I mean, we see most of it, but you got that mask from keeping your eyes hidden. I mean, why can't I just take that little black thing off and just have a look at your face?
Careful there, Luke. Those who look upon the Phantom's face will die.
Or is that one of the other little cute little jungle sayings?
I don't think they have a jungle saying for dying in extreme anguish and terror.
Okay then. Well, Ghost to Walks, it looks like our hard work is finally going to pay off. This is the final level. Do you think you can handle it?
Of course I can. I wouldn't be the Phantom otherwise. But I think you should give it a go since you want to be the next Phantom and all. Do you think you can handle it?
Oh please, dude, I've done this like 1,000 times. Help me. Oh my god, what the hell is that thing? It's freaking terrifying.
Since you played this game before, this should be a piece of cake for you.
Yeah, I kind of lied about that. This is just like Super Metroid. Have you ever played Super Metroid before? Who cares? It's just got to beat this alien.
No, this game isn't like Super Metroid. Super Metroid's like this game. What the hell are you even doing? You're gonna kill my son.
I'm just jumping around. What do you want? What else would I do? Stand there and get hit?
What are you doing in there? That's how you're gonna get killed.
I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing.
Don't stop shooting. Just keep firing.
That's what I'm trying to do, mate. I did it. I killed the thing, whatever it was. Who's the man?
Oh my gosh, you really did too. I honestly didn't think you had it in you. You didn't look that skilled when I first met you.
So was this the good ending or one of the bad endings?
Well, it seems pretty good to me. All the bad guys are getting what they deserve. Being locked up and put in insane asylums. Yeah, it seems pretty good to me.
Yeah. So in all serious, Phantom, do you think that maybe one day we could get some more Phantom content? I mean, as awesome as the comic books are, they just beg for more expansions. That movie in 1996 with Billy Zane, I thought that was the greatest thing ever. Then there was also that black and white movie, Serial, which I thought was pretty nice too. But anyway, Phantom, hopefully one day I might be lucky enough to put on those purple tights and run around and calling myself the Ghost Who Walks. What do you say?
I say long live the Ghost Who Walks. The Marvel Cinematic Universe may be dominating the superhero genre in movies, but don't forget which superhero really came first, you Marvel bastards. But maybe one day, Luke, there might be room out there for a skinny Phantom.
I guess that's a compliment.